Hi guys, welcome back to this week's episode. This week we're actually going to talk about those critters outside. So that includes skunks, mosquitoes, ticks, all those nasty things that nobody likes, but we're stuck with them. So let's start with skunk care, because I know my dogs never get sprayed at the most convenient times.
All right, so let's get into this. Very first thing to do is let's talk about preventing having skunks around your home in the first place. So basically, do not leave food out. Make sure that any scraps or anything like that are secured in a secure garbage can, or your green bin is secured, that sort of thing. This will also help with bears, by the way, if you're in the Ottawa Valley. The other thing is then if your dog does get sprayed, what I would suggest that you do is, instead of taking them right to the bathtub or letting them in the house first and then taking them to the bathtub, go get a towel. Wrap that towel around your dog and soak up as much of that oil as you possibly can. You don't want to put water on oil, and that's what the skunk spray is. It's an oily residue. If you put water on it, it's just gonna spread. All right? Again, don't let the dog in your house, because as soon as your dog goes in the house, guess what? That smell is in your house, and it is hard to get rid of. If they get on your furniture and it's cloth, whoa, it's gonna stink for months. The next thing I would do is, if it's like cold out and you don't want to leave them outside, then pick a room where it's easily cleaned, like a laundry room or something like that. The next thing I would do is look at some shampoos. There's some great ones out there. We sell quite a few different skunk removers, sprays, shampoos, all of it. You're gonna rinse the dog, shampoo the dog, and then rinse again. Sometimes you'll have to repeat this process a couple of times. Make sure while you're doing this, you clean yourself, because if the dog has touched you in any way, it's going to be on your clothes and that sort of thing. A lot of the skunk remover products out there are also, you're able to use in your laundry, okay? The other thing is we can also do a homemade skunk remover if the store happens to be closed. So basically that is 1 quart of hydrogen peroxide, 1/4 cup of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of dishwasher liquid, okay? Dishwashing liquid, I should repeat that. Mix it all in a bucket and wash your dog down with that. Try not to get this in the dog's eyes and nose and mouth. It's not nice. You want to give it a really good massage and let it sit for at least a few minutes to process. And then again, wash your dog. You can even use just some Dawn dish soap or whatever dish soap you have, and wash them with that to rinse all of this product off. It's a quick, easy one. It's one of those ones that you can have available in your home if you don't have the shampoo. With that being said, if your dog gets sprayed at 10 o'clock at night and you need one of us to come in, we will come in and get that shampoo for you. So all you'd have to do is send us a message.
Yeah.
Okay?
But most drugstores are open now till midnight, or some are 24 hours now.
Yep,
and you can find
absolutely.
all those things at drugstores.
Yep. A quick list of supplies I would like having around, again, is the towels to stop that residue being spread around. If you don't really want it on your hands, wear some rubber gloves. Car seat covers are really nice if you have to transport your dog. Bathing, brushing, grooming, that sort of thing, you want to make sure you have that. Clean water, also want to rinse those vital areas. And skunk remover, again, that's kind of a quick list of what to have on hand.
Yeah, we will absolutely link this list in our description, and then link some of our products, or some products you can look at as well.
The other thing too, just quarantine your dog. Make sure your dog is in a secure place where he's not going to get skunk smell everywhere. Make sure that you secure your deck area. So if you have an open deck underneath, that's where skunks like to go. They like to go under sheds and raise their families. So make sure those areas are closed off. That will help avoid them coming to live in your home.
I have a question for Tina. What do you do if your dog gets sprayed in the mouth and you can't wash that with shampoo?
Well, we actually have a great product here at End of the Leash, and it's called Nature's Dentist. The great thing about it, it's an enzyme, so it'll help break down that smell a little faster than when you leave it. The thing is, it's because the mouth is obviously moist, it will hold on to that smell for a long time. Months, sometimes even like 6 to 8 months. So I do suggest the nature's dentist, not only because it's great for their teeth, but it's also great to remove some of that smell. Let's talk about the other critters. Ticks, fleas, and mosquitoes.
Ooh, ticks, fleas, and mosquitoes. So these are things that actually are just in the natural environment. They're right outside your front door and your back door. I like to start on my property first, and especially for my pets. There's certain things that you can do either topically, and there's other stuff that you can actually put into their food that can help to make them also undesirable to ticks, fleas, and mosquitoes as well. So some of the products we actually do carry in the shop that I had been using, and there is a new one that I had just started as well. We'll also link those in our description box below. But what I find with fleas, usually fleas will be picked up while they're out in an area that's wooded or long, tall grasses and stuff. When you are venturing into those areas, make sure that you are checking your dog's bodies over. Same thing for like even in my backyard. The first time I had a tick on one of my pets, it was on my Chihuahua. He had just went outside, had a little play session with our other dog, and came inside the house and kept on scratching and scratching and scratching. Had I not checked into why he was scratching, I never would have seen that there was a tick actually attached right to the middle of his chest. One of the things that we really do recommend, and sometimes these are tougher to find, are tick removers. So having a little tool, just so that you can actually apply it to the tick. You usually have to spin it around to move it. Sometimes a set of tweezers are not ideal if the tick happens to be engorged. That's usually when you want to be careful and use a proper remover. Tick stuff you can also get recommended by your vet, and this is typically done with them doing a blood test on your animal prior to see if they display any levels that could be harmful in their systems. And then you can go with their recommendation. That is one way to go about it. Another way that you can go about it for tick prevention, there are natural products. We carry one, and I've started to use it. This is what I was saying, that you can actually just sprinkle this onto your dog's food to make them undesirable, like when the pests are around, that it'll make them undesirable to them as well. And it has something natural in it. It's got neem. It's also got a couple other natural things in it. It's called Live Strong's Nature's Shield. It's just a little sprinkle, and you just do it to their food, just so that they ingest it. And mosquitoes and such actually steer clear now of my pets, I find, the most. And also their reaction to say that when they get a mosquito bite or anything, they're not getting as swollen or those lumps that you can see. I notice those ones every other season. When the first few mosquito bites happen, sometimes a dog will have a little space where they're swelling on their body. Another way that you can tell that they've been bitten by mosquitoes, one of the things to look out for is checking their bellies, especially if our dogs are venturing out on hikes and runs, and especially down by the river now, because all of our dogs, sand fleas are an issue. Now, it's not uncommon when you look at your little puppy's belly that you'll have these little red spots, and you'll see a point of redness in the middle, and it's circled by redness on the outside. Now, these will usually happen around like the armpits and around their groin area. It isn't something to be alarmed with at first, because this does happen. It is natural. One of the things that you want to watch out for is when they do happen to swell, or if they don't actually dissipate and go away over the course of like the next 24, 48 hours. So for mosquitoes, what we have at the shop, we do have a repellent. It's not a bug spray, because human bug spray can actually be toxic to your pet. It's not something you want them to lick off of their bodies, because let's face it, they're going to lick where they can get to. And if we're out at the trailer or if we're out at a campsite, I typically carry the Nature Vet. They have a product called Outdoor Spray. It is all natural essential oils, so you know it's not going to be harmful to your dog. I even use it on myself when we're out. It's wonderful, and it doesn't smell bad either. Actually, it's not as high chemically smelling like a traditional bug spray.
It's not oily, doesn't leave a residue.
No.
It's lovely.
And if you really want to make sure, if you're going in deep woods, or if you're doing like camping the way that I do camping, like popping a tent out. And I mean, we're sleeping on the ground inside with our pets as well in our tent. I like to take a brush and I will spray down my dog. I will brush my dog. I'll even just spray the brush and make sure that I'm working it really good into the coat and getting into that undercoat, especially if your dog happens to have a double coat, just to make sure that they have that level of protection.
Yes, and doing when you're brushing it through, you're actually brushing through these really nice natural oils, which will give your dog a nice shiny coat. So there is an upside to it as well. I guess the next thing I would like to say is when it comes to ticks and fleas and mosquitoes, there's great options for the vet, but there's also some really great natural options. And if that's what you're interested, please come and see us or send us a message and we will forward that to you.
If your pup happens to get that rash that Michelle was talking about, you really want to give them a bath too. If they're reacting, it can get bad quickly. It can become an infection and you don't want your pup to be on antibiotics for the summer. So giving them a quick bath with the appropriate shampoos will really help bring down that inflammation, irritation, because some of them can have allergic reactions to the black fly bug bites. And you just kind of want to help bring that down before it gets worse.
The next thing we're going to talk about is recall. So this is the easiest thing you can do. You can have some fun. Now, I say it's easy thing that you can do. It's one of the hardest things to train, actually. Most dogs have more exciting things to do than come to us. So usually it's pretty difficult. So basically what I do is I start with a treat. I sit my dog in front of me, and then I start running backwards and asking the dog to come. Then I would move on to maybe in a hallway and have my partner go to one end of the hallway and I'm at the other end of the hallway, and we just play the recall game where I will call the dog to come. As soon as that dog comes and gets the treat, then my partner's calling the dog to come. It's a fun way to do it. And then we move that on to outdoors where it's all done on leash or a long line. And the biggest thing I can say is be exciting. Be more exciting than the squirrel or the chipmunk or whatever else is going on. Practice everywhere, your driveway, in the house, in the yard, on your walks. The more you practice, the better it will become.
I use it quite often when I'm hiking with my dogs. If they don't check in every few minutes, I'll stop. And if they continue, I'll hide behind a tree. And then I'll say, come, and then they panic because where's mom? Yeah. But then when they run to me, my husband will then hide on the other side. So we take that training moment and then they check back in. They have to check in, and it took a long time, but we play the outdoor game all the time.
I guess my thing is make it fun.
Yeah.
The more fun you can have, the better it'll be.
The more rewarding it is, I find that's where the dog usually gets more enticed for it. And I also find that it helps to build that relationship and that connection that you have as a dog guardian with your pet. And proofing your recall is something that you're going to be doing for a long time, because at no matter what stage or what level of training that your dog has, there's always going to be a situation where you have the opportunity to go, hey, come, and get that moment with them and reward them for it. And the more that you do it, the more consistent that your dog will become, and the more consistent that you're going to know and have that feeling of, we've got this together.
No, absolutely. I think the most rewarding moment I had was we were hiking and a bear crossed in front of us.
Yep.
And at that moment, my dogs were ahead of me, and I called them quickly, and they stayed as they watched the bear, where some dogs that don't have a good recall may go, ooh, what are you? And start running towards it.
Yeah.
That was the moment that I was like, whew, this is where it paid off. Yeah. As we're sweating, hoping the bear doesn't look at us.
Yeah. Yeah. Having a real solid recall will pay tenfold. It is a great security measure and safety measure for your pet alone, but it's also one of those things that when it's a game, it is so much fun with them, and being able to stop and call them back from anything is one of the most rewarding things that you can do as a pet owner.
Thanks, guys, for watching this week. We really hope you got some good tips and tricks on recall and everything buggy, skunky. hopefully it doesn't happen to you, but it's inevitable. So hopefully we gave you some tips and tricks to have a home kit ready just in case it does happen. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Leave a comment if this has happened to you or if you liked what you watched today. So leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and
We'll see you in the next video.
Yeah.